So the last time we chatted, we were working on getting this thing mounted to the wall here. Today, I'm going to work on some terminal blocks to put in the bottom of this box so that I don't have to use wire nuts, Mar connectors to hold everything together. So I picked up some chocolate blocks, and I've got a piece of aluminum that we need to saw up and make some spacers so it's not sitting on the bottom of the box. So I'll show you the setup I'm using for that. The handy part about doing this kind of work in a combined letterpress / workshop is that I have tools like this saw just kicking around. There's the terminal strip. They come in lengths of 12. I've cut it down to 8. Figured out roughly exactly how many I'd need for the power connections. I put that in there, and I set the stop here to be a little bit short. Might be hard to tell because I want the aluminum block to sit just underneath this, just a little bit. It doesn't need to stick out the edges. And then right here is the piece of aluminum I picked up. Lock that in. I'm hitting the blade. Whoa. Just making sure I'm not hitting stuff. Okay, now we can cut. Blade's missing a tooth, so I cut slow so I get a nice clean cut out of this thing. Very nice. Saves me messing around with the hacksaw. How does that look? Perfect. Okay, I've just got one more to cut. I need a separate terminal strip for the ground connections, and then we'll figure out how to put those inside the box. So those are cut. One for the 5 terminal block, and then another one for the 8 terminal block. The 8 one, I'm just going to find the middle, the center, both ways, and drill and tap the first hole for the first bolt. And then I can just screw this on and then use it as a guide to drill, or at least mark the other 2 holes. A carbide scribe, an accurate enough caliper. Half an inch. Isn't that neat? So I think I might just set this to a 1/4 inch. Oop. Does 1/1000th matter? In my head. Oh, we're down to 1. Close enough. I'm going to use this to kind of eyeball the middle point and just scribe a line in that lovely anodization. It's crunchy. And then find the length, which isn't an even increment of anything. 2.964 divided by 2, 1.482. 1.5482. And now that is my other center point. I think that's enough that I could just scribe those a bit deeper, and I'll center punch it and drill it. This center punch has probably seen better days. Okay, it's good to be drilled. Yes, I just used my table saw I didn't hit it hard. Okay, I've got a drill in here. It's the right size so that I can tap these holes for a 6/32 machine screw. Okay, we get the thing on the wrench. There we go. Alright, this might be easier if I just hold it. Probably should have put something on this. It's a bit dry feeling, but we'll get through this one and then think about doing the next one a bit better. There we go, through. And try for a screw. Very nice. Okay, just gonna go grab the terminal block and screw that on there and get set up for the next two. I did check these fit these holes. Well, it appears to be in the middle. That's always encouraging. I'm just going to eyeball this. It is just a spacer after all. And not that I'm a fan of shoddy work, but I like things to look nice. Okay, now I'm just going to spot these. Put an 1/8 inch drill in the press here, because that fits these holes just about perfectly. The other one is actually the thread size drill. I think it's 7/64. So I'm just going to put a little dot on each of those, take it apart and drill. Very nice. I'll just swap out drill bit. Good. Swing the table back. Nope, I need it there. I need a safer surface to drill on. Now I can move that back and lock that down. Very nice. Okay, those are tapped now. I thought I'd just throw a countersink in the drill press here and give those a quick little deburr. Excellent. And then it's on to final assembly. I gotta take this off because I want to drill 2 more holes and thread them, because this gives me something that I can mount to the bottom of the box. I used a bit of oil to help with the tapping. It made a big difference. This will mount to the bottom of the box, and then it'll be attached by 2 screws that come up from the bottom, and I'll put those in the gaps there somewhere. Just measure a spot out and make them a reasonable distance, but that looks not too bad. So I'll take this off and we'll get set up to measure and mark and drill and tap. I really should have done them all at once, but I couldn't because of the way I did it. That's right. Okay, get set for that. Those went a little quicker. So I've got those 2 mounting holes drilled and tapped. For the mounting screws, that'll go through the bottom of the box. These are flathead screws, so I can just drill and countersink some holes and there won't be anything sticking out the back of the box. These go in the bottom of the electrical box. The greeny gray one. I guess it's gray. There we go. Perfect. 1 assembly complete. Oh, I could have threaded in more. Oh, there we go. Bit of a burr. So I'll go get the other one marked up, drilled, tapped, and this time I'm going to do it all in one operation. So I'll go do that, and then it's on to assembly. Second spacer's all drilled and tapped and ready to go. I tried this on there. It seems to fit. Just noticed I need a bit of deburring. I changed my deburring strategy a little, just so I have to change tools less often. So I went and found my smallest drill chuck I have. We can use that. Alright, so I'm not going to screw this on there though, because I need to pull the box off the wall, and I'm going to use this and this as a jig to aid in assembly. So I'm going to pop this thing apart and then go pull that box down. So I've got the box off the wall, and I'm trying to work out where to put these terminal blocks inside here. So these will be up on these spacers, of course, attached like that, levitating a little. But I've got things to consider, like on this side. So this is the bottom of the box towards the ground, and you can see there that the two knockouts where I'll have that'll be the motor will come in through there, and this one will be the direction switch, the wire, so that will come through that knockout. So it's going to be a bit crowded down there. So I kind of want to keep this, I don't need the spacer in there for now, the bottom one up from that a bit. But I also have to fit in this terminal block for the grounds. So I'm contemplating maybe just sticking that on the top of the box up against the back. So it's a bit out of the way there, and that way I can keep that one. Alright, I'm going to think about that. Once I've figured out where I want these, I'm going to turn the box over and actually use the spacers to set my my distance, and I'm going to use a drill, that 1/16 of an inch drill that'll clear the threads, and then I can just kind of mark, pop that off, drill a hole, and then open it up to a clearance hole for these screws and countersink them. So I'm going to finish up the laying out, and I'll come back when I'm ready to drill some holes. Done a bit of layout, I think just enough to get the first hole marked. There's going to be some fiddling around. I think what I'm going to do is drop that into there, like that. I have the most terrible lighting possible. That popped out. Wrong way. There. I can move things around. It's roughly where I want it. And drill the first hole. Take that right out of there. I don't even need to drill it. Need some oil on this one. Okay, I realized I only needed to spot it with that little drill. I've switched to a much nicer one now. I can drill the clearance hole right away. And before I countersink it, I'm just going to attach this temporarily from the inside so that I'm not fighting it all the time. Got that mounted on there. I realized that I drilled that first hole through what is actually going to be one of the holes used to mount the chocolate block. So I have to drill 2 more holes now. Oh, chocolate block. They don't look like food. I work with somebody, a British person, and actually I work with a number of British people, and they all call them chocolate blocks. I think it's actually a good indicator of the quality of British cuisine. Okay, time to drill. Let's swap out to... I also took a minute and organized my drill index, so I don't know if I can get this close without readjusting the camera. Oh, look at that. I have drills organized. I found half of them in my night table. Isn't that weird? So let's swap that out. Now it'll be easy. There's 2 little tiny spots there. Try the hand drill out. Of course, now it's do more than that. And now it's stuck. Ooh, what was that? Center punch. Okay, I think that's sunk enough. Yep, that sits flush. Am I blocking everything? Probably. That looks about right. Any bigger, I'm gonna run out of material. Okay, let's screw that thing on. That's the problem. So these screws, the countersink on them, or the head is too big. So I'm going to take these out and make some adjustments. Okay, I got that out. I'm just going to countersink these. Probably a bit more. Okay, give that a whirl. Excellent. Now I can drop the terminal block on that. Line it up roughly. Drop a screw in. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. Put the other screw. Alright, you're gonna need to watch me do this. I'm gonna screw this one in and then do the same process for the other terminal block. And that should be it for preparing this box. We've got the other terminal block, or spacer, mounted to the back of the box. That one turned out a lot nicer. Always learn from my mistakes. So this one is going to be just for commenting all the grounds together, which means I don't need access to the back, because I will be putting one of these bus strip things in there. So that will go into all the screw terminals, common all of them together so that on the front side they're all the same. So I can just take a pair of wire cutters and cut this to length. So 5 terminals. I'll just chop off 5. And then I need a little screwdriver, and I'll screw that into there, and then I can bend that up a bit too so it's crammed up against the side of the box. Of course it's all woogity, but that's fine. There it is. No, it's gotta go this way. The terminals are kind of crafted one way, I think. Okay. Alright, so now I have a bunch of terminals common together. There's 5 screws, 1 to ground the box, or 1 to connect to the box grounding lug, and then the other 4 terminals go to the motor, the directional switch, and the speed selector box. Motor, yeah, that's 4. Oh, and then there's one more, that's 3, and there's one more for the power coming in. We'll also have a ground going to that. There it is, it just fell over. I think that's that for tonight.